Hey guys, welcome back to the Second Time Lucky Mining channel. In today's quick video, I'm going to discuss life after Ethereum. What am I currently doing and what am I planning to do for probably the rest of the bear market? If you do like the GPU content, please smash the like button or maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It will help me out a great deal. But enough of shilling my channel, let's jump into the content. Now, can you believe it? It's been a month since Ethereum moved to proof of stake, away from proof of work, and basically calling the bear market or starting the bear market, probably for most people in the GPU mining space. Yes, we've been in a bear market before then, but since Ethereum has moved away, that is a massive shock in the GPU mining space. Now, what am I doing? And I wanted to go through a couple of typical questions that I see either on Twitter or on some of my YouTube videos. So I wanted to go ahead and answer those specific questions around what am I doing now since a month after Ethereum, and what do I see doing moving forward. Now, the first question, and probably the most common question, is am I mining? The answer to that question is no. So currently all of my GPUs are off and I am not mining. Yes, I still have the Helium miner, but that doesn't count. Now, what am I actually doing? Or technically, what I'm saying is not exactly true. So what I tend to do, depending on the weather, in the morning, I would run my GPUs flat out for maybe an hour or two. Sometimes it's actually less than that, sometimes it's a little bit more. So depending on the weather, if it's cold, I would switch them on for about an hour or two just to get the cold air out of the house, and the GPUs are great for that, but I generally don't run them. And there's been a couple of days where the weather has actually been turning and it's been hotter, and in those days I just don't run my miners, right? So at least at this stage, none of my GPUs are mining at the moment. Now, to answer that question as to why am I not mining, for me it's really simple. It's, in my case, not the best way for me to deploy my money or my capital. And what do I say that? If I take my electricity rate, which is about 15 US cents per kilowatt hour if I convert Australian dollar, it's just not profitable. So, it doesn't make sense specifically for me to mine. Now, there are people that has lower rates, and by all means, if you've got solar power or lower electricity rates, go at it. I'm super happy that you are still able to support the network and that you can keep on mining. But at least in my situation, it just doesn't make sense for me to deploy my capital in that specific way. Now, I have done a video to explain sort of how do I calculate that. It's probably my worst video, but I'll leave a link in the video description and tag it at the top. But it really comes down to simple math. The amount that I would pay per coin when I mine versus when I buy it on exchange is I just get more value for my money and ultimately more coins if I buy it on the exchange. So for me, it's a no-brainer. In my situation, it makes sense. But I do know there's a lot of people that either are still mining at a loss or it's still profitable for them, and that is amazing. I'm super happy that you guys are supporting the network, you keeping on mining, which is great for a lot of these projects. Now, who do I think should be continue mining? Obviously, if it's profitable for you to continue mining and your electricity rate is low, or you're on solar, or you've got free power, can you adopt me? But no, jokes aside, if it's profitable for you, obviously go ahead and mine. The other typical people that I see that are still mining is where it's close to break even, right? So it's not necessarily profitable, but it's close enough for them to actually continue mining. Now, the other reasons why I think people are mining, it's just a easier way to get the coins. Now, there's a lot, even though I am buying it on an exchange, doesn't mean other people want to buy it in exchange. There's KYC in some instances involved because you'll have to put your dollars or whatever currency that you have into exchange and actually buy a coin. So a lot of people don't want to do that. Again, there's KYC involved in that. And, sometimes, to be honest, it's just easier to start off your GPU mining rig, point it to your wallet, pick your pool, and then coins start coming into your wallet, right? So it's in essence, at least in my opinion, sometimes easier to just let the GPUs mine and actually get the coin. So those are the typical reasons, or what I see people, why they keep on mining. The other one that I almost forgot is speculative coins. Now, a lot of these coins that potentially people are mining at this specific point in time, let's be honest, is speculation. We don't know when and if the market is going to turn. Yes, looking at history, it's likely to happen, but I just don't know if it's going to happen, right? And a lot of these new coins that people are looking at, you can't get them on exchange, and by all means, that is, mining is a great way to actually get your hands on some of those more speculative coins. And in my opinion, that's just not what I want to do. I've done this before in 2017, 2018. I just stick to my strategy. And again, what I'm doing doesn't necessarily mean that's what you need to do. You do you, I'm going to do me. So, if you do want a speculative mine, there's a lot of places where you can go to find out what coins to mine, at least what I use. And again, if you know of some different methods, please specify in the comments. But at least in my opinion, having a look at the different mining software, they tend to add support to new coins every now and again. So that's normally a good indication, that there's a new coin. On top of that, Mining Pool Streams has got a section for new GPU mineable coins. So that's a great place to look at. And a couple that come to mind that I've seen in the last couple of weeks that the community has jumped to, stuff like, not all of them is necessarily speculative, but they're definitely small caps. In this specific space. So stuff like Casper, Radiant, Meowcoin, ETH Proof of W. There's a couple of these different coins that guys are speculating on at the moment. But at least for me, that's just not what I want to do. The next question that I wanted to cover is typical, am I buying GPUs? And the short answer for that is definitely yes. I haven't found a GPU just yet, and it's actually been a bit strange for me. I haven't seen GPUs drop to where I thought they are going to drop. But again, it's only been a month since profitability has properly tanked. So I do expect GPUs to become a little bit cheaper. But saying that, I have bought hardware. So what I've bought in the last couple of days is I've bought another Octominer. So I'll do a video as soon as it comes in. But that is, again, setting up the foundation for me to find cheap second-hand GPUs to go and fill that Octominer with GPUs. So again, I'm not going anywhere. I want to double down in the bear market. I do think it's a great opportunity to get some cheaper hardware, and every dollar or cent that I spend specifically in this bear market, there's a big caveat for me. I probably pronounce it wrong, but every dollar that I pour in either into a GPU or a rig or an Octominer or whatever is money that I'm tying up. So I'm very careful in selecting the GPUs and considering the money that I'm spending specifically in the bear market. And the reason why is, with the electricity rate that I have, if I buy a GPU, it's probably not going to mine for a while, or at least that's what I see, right? So, any money that I spend is just not going to give me a return anytime soon, and I'm okay with that. Like, I bought the Octominer, I don't even have GPUs to put in, right? It's not the best time necessarily, some people may say, to buy hardware, right? So I'm very careful in what GPUs do I want to buy. I just want to buy exactly what I want, and at the price that I want. And in my head, I need to know that I'm not going to see that money. It's just going to sit here in my house until it becomes more profitable, right? So it's a big decision for me to buy GPUs and new hardware, because again, I don't see a return on that investment anytime soon, and I'm okay with that. So that's why I'm doubling down a little bit on hardware to at least be ready for the next bull market. Now, the other question is, okay, if you're buying GPUs, which GPUs are you buying, and sort of what is the prices that you are paying? At least for me, I'm looking at mainly adding NVIDIA GPUs, and I know I'm not the biggest fan of NVIDIA as a company and their business practices, specifically because I'm a gamer also, but at least in my opinion, they offer the most flexible GPUs. Their GPUs can mine probably the most diverse amount of coins, and they're generally good across multiple algorithms. It's not saying that I don't support AMD. I absolutely love AMD. I've got an AMD GPU in my desktop upstairs. I've got a whole rig full of AMD GPUs, and in fact, I've been saving money to buy the new AMD GPU, hopefully when that comes out in November/December. I'm not sure exactly what the date is when they're going to come out, but at least from a mining perspective, to get back to the topic, I'm looking at NVIDIA GPUs, and surprise, surprise, the most efficient ones, which is 3070s. So that's specifically what I'm looking for. But I've actually seen some deals popping up on 6700 XTs and 3060 Ti's. I'm not a big fan of the 3060 Ti. I am of the 6700 XT, so I might be looking at those. But I'm trying my very best to not spend my money, at least at this stage. Again, why do I say that? It's a month after the Ethereum has merged, right? I'm expecting more and better deals to come in the future. So it's more of a preservation game for me at this specific point in time. But again, if I do see the GPUs, I am buying them. I have set money aside. I've got an Octominer on the way, and I'll probably have space for my power for another one. So again, it's about picking up the best deals for the bear market. And again, this bear market, at least in my opinion, I think is going to last for a little bit. I can't see it turning anytime soon, or at least in the next 6 months. And again, I hope I'm wrong, I really do, but that's just what I see and sort of how I'm planning about. Now, the last question that I wanted to answer is, am I planning to sell any hardware or sell out? And the short answer for that is definitely no. I'm not going anywhere. I have sold my GPU, stopped GPU mining before in the previous bear market, and that's really why, or where the channel's name has come from. You know, this time around, or at least the second time, I'm hoping to be lucky in the GPU mining space. So I'm not going anywhere. But looking at the GPUs that I've got, and surprise, surprise, I mean, when I got in as at the back of the bull market, so I got in around November, December of last year. So most of the GPUs that I bought is fairly new GPUs. I don't have a lot of old GPUs. And what I mean by that is I basically have AMD 6000 series and I have NVIDIA 30,000 series. I do have a couple of 2080 Ti's, which I absolutely love. So, you know, my cards are not old. I don't expect to swap them out. I only bought efficient cards. So again, some of the rules or some of the lessons that I've learned from last time around, I went all out 1080 Ti's, which wasn't necessarily the best move. But again, you know, I don't expect to sell any of the hardware that I have. I have seen lately with the new LOL miner that the 2080 Ti's is now getting beaten out by some other GPUs that are potentially now more efficient compared to the 2080 Ti's. So that may be the only one where I might consider swapping them for something else, maybe a 3070 for something a little bit more efficient. But you know, I've put a lot of effort to find these 2080 Ti's. So, you know, they are dear to me. It's an emotional decision, not necessarily a financial one. But, you know, if my head gets the better of me, I might consider selling the 2080 Ti's to swap them out for 3070s. But all in all, I'm not selling out. I'm just switching off. I have no problem keeping my GPUs in the Octominer and just switching them on, right? It doesn't bother me at all that I've got all of this hardware sitting doing nothing. And I think that's where a lot of people might get a little bit skittish, where, you know, they have spent all this money and it's just doing nothing. But for me, I really don't care. I've spent it. I know, or at least I think GPU mining is coming back. You know, I'm super positive, I'm long-term bullish, and that's why I'm keeping all of my hardware. If I didn't, then obviously I would sell out. And again, that's what I did last time around. So, you know, I'm trying to learn lessons as I go, and I'm sure I'll get a couple of things wrong. I already have a couple of things that I want to do different in the next bull market, which I didn't do correctly, or I didn't execute necessarily in what I thought I was going to do. So anyway, that may be a video for another time. But if you've enjoyed this video, please like the video and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.